All right, people. So we're back, and I'm going to show you how to do a rough, dry, flat wrap. I call it a rough, dry, flat wrap because I'm not going to like completely polish this down. This is mostly for those times where you just want to give the hair a quick dry so that you can do a color application. So this particular mannequin I'm about to do some fantasy colors on. So I just washed it. I wanted to get out all the old product. I had gel in there before. And so it's just been washed and conditioned. And now I'm just going to do a rough dry on it, and I'm just going to do a little bit of flat wrapping, a slight little bit of leafing. I'm not doing a complete finish, but this is just something just so it still looks good. So I'm showing you how to do everything right now. So I am detangling. I am just using one of the smaller paddle brushes. This one in particular is an Arojo brush, but I believe Ergo has one as well. It has almost like a triangle tip. It's great for shorter lengths. Perfect. And what you're going to do is just detangle first, just brush everything straight down. It helps everything to move a lot faster. If for some reason your hair is snagging a lot when you find that you're brushing this way, turn your brush horizontal, well, vertical, right? Yeah, turn your brush vertical and then brush that way, starting from the ends, and just walk your brush up. That will help you to detangle a lot quicker, and then you can switch to a horizontal position. So I am using the Paul Mitchell Forever Blonde Dramatic Repair. It's a Cara Active Damage Recovery Spray. I just had it laid around, so I decided to use it. So I spray that into the hair. Make sure the hair is very damp first, not very wet. You don't want the hair to be dripping. As you see, hair is not dripping there. So make sure that you take that hair and you squeeze all the moisture out before you start applying product and before you start detangling. Now I'm kind of just brushing everything down, assessing the shape, which I notice I have bangs on this one. So that's always a good thing to do. A lot of times, and I'm using the Gamma blow dryer. It's the Gamma Plus 3500 Tourmaline blow dryer. My heat setting is set to the highest heat and it's on a medium speed, just so you know. And what I'm doing with these are I'm just going to rough dry it. If you can see, I'm lifting the hair from the root, making sure that the air is blowing downwards and on the root, on the section, using my fingers really as a comb. So you want to get some more of that moisture out with a rough dry first. The Gamma, this blow dryer in particular is really good. The only thing I would say is the nozzles on this sometimes will fall off because of the speed of the dryer. So I just wish it had a more secure one, which I think the newer models, they do have that now. But it's a good blow dryer. It's fine. Another thing, blow dryer care, people, make sure that you check the back vent of your blow dryers at all times. If that has a whole bunch of hair and a whole bunch of gunk, that can start to smell and it can cause everything to short circuit. So make sure you take that mesh screen, you just wash it really quick with water, and then you dry it off. Keep that vent clean at all times. So if this was a real client, instead of her head moving, my chair would be moving. So I'd move the chair. I pretty much stand in the same position for the most part. So keep in mind that your chair does move. Move your client as much as comfortable for you so that you're not kind of breaking your back. As always, I am listening to some good grooving vibes. Unfortunately, I cannot play it here for you on YouTube for whatever reason. So you'll just have to contend with the sound of my voice. And hopefully it's good enough. All right, so you take your, this is what you call flat wrapping your bangs. Anybody with bangs, this is how you get those bangs to lay really nice. So you're going to go back and forth in a motion and kind of on a diagonal. Make sure your nozzle first follows your brush at all times. And then you're going to go back the opposite way. That's going to get it to lay really nice and flat at the root. Now, if you're trying to have like a curl in that bang, you would still kind of blow dry it this way, but with your round brush, you would just kind of lift those ends up, and then that will get it to lay nice and it'll give you a nice curl on the bang. But another way you can do it too is you can use your brush and you can just bevel with the lift, and that will give you a more natural fall on the bangs. But this is a good way. Anytime you're going to cut bangs or anything like that, this is what you should do, because you need all the hair to kind of lay down so you can see where everything is. And then you let it, then you blow dry it again at natural fall, which is what I'm doing right now with that. See, I'm picking it up and I'm kind of leafing it, and I'm beveling the end so that it kind of curves down to the head, right? So you'll do that, and then you'll go back in and you'll cut that bang, and that's a natural fall bang. If they want more curl, then you would take the your round brush, and then you can just lift it up a little bit more if you wanted to. But you can have the same result with your brush as well if you just understand where you need to lift. And so there, that's the complete dry flat front. Most places will tell you to dry the hair first in the front. There is no particular method for that or reason, other than the fact that when your client is sitting down in the chair, you want them to be kind of looking and feeling like they're looking at a nice finish. So you don't want them to look at wet hair. So that's the reason most of the time they'll tell you to dry the front. But really, it does not matter. And I think particularly these times, make sure that your blow dryer is always pointed upwards when you need to set it down, to set it in the pocket of your arm, but keep the nozzle pointing up. It's almost like, well, I can't say that, but when you're in the military and you have your weapon, there you go. When you have a weapon, it's your muzzle always, you need to have muzzle awareness. So same thing with your blow dryer, you need to have blow dryer awareness, which means you don't want the hot air to be blowing in any direction, especially if you're next to other stylists. You don't want to be blowing their hair, or you don't want to be blowing their foils out of the way. So keep your nozzle pointed up. If it's pointed up at the ceiling, it's not going to affect anybody. On the floor, it's more likely to. So always keep the nozzle pointed upwards. See, even when I'm adjusting the chair, I'm making sure that I point that nozzle upward. And that's one of the tips that I learned when I was in Cosmo School. Thanks to Joey out there. You got a free shout out. Joey over there at Arojo taught me that. And it's been very helpful in my life ever since. So in the back, you're kind of just drying the same way that you do the front. You're kind of moving. And as you can see, I'm moving in real time. None of this is sped up. This is all done in real time. I forgot to mention that before. And I'm just moving. Nozzle moves with the brush, and I'm just moving back and forth, kind of shaping the hair with the round of the head. And this is me now going in the opposite direction. Pay attention to which way the hair is flowing, because if you move in a direction other than where the hair is flowing, you're going to end up tangling the hair in the brush. So if you see that happening, it's because you're not paying attention to how the hair is flowing. So if the hair is going sideways, you want to brush sideways before you bring it into another direction. If you just try to pull it down, sometimes it can snag, especially if you didn't do a good job detangling the first time. So this rough dry took approximately 16 minutes, or 15 minutes, I should say. And like I said, it's not completely polished. If I wanted to go back, I would polish the ends a little bit more. But you'll see that towards the end, and I'll explain how you would do that. And to do that, it probably only add like 1 or 2 more minutes onto it. So here you get a better view of what I'm doing. In this particular manner, you're leafing, pulling down, and your nozzle is following the heat. So you see the hair is sideways, so I go sideways before I bring it down. and change the direction. If I was just gripping there, I would end up tangling the hair on the brush. What takes the most time with this is just trying to make sure that I can get my angles right so you can see everything that I'm doing. I can explain it better. But obviously, if I was doing this in real time, it would probably move a lot faster than this. And you see how I lift, and you leaf it, and we let the nozzle follow the brush. So it's just me slowing down so you can actually see how it's going. Brush it up. This was done, of course, on a Sunday. You know, part of my little relaxation. Anytime you get bored, just pull your tools out and practice on the mannequin, practice your craft. Just practice at all times. You never know when you're going to be called. So just stay sharp. Work on speed, work on timing. You know, work on using your other hand. If you mainly do things with one hand, start incorporating the other hand. Give yourself new challenges. You know, try to do a blow dry with just a flat brush. Try to do a blow dry with just a comb or just your fingers and getting the same result. These are things that I do all the time. And in the larger sense of it, you'll see that I start to incorporate all of these different things, and you're wondering, like, why are you using this or why are you using that? It's because I kind of took things away from myself so that I can learn how to maneuver in any situation. You know, sometimes I never know where I might be. You know, you might meet Naomi Campbell on the plane with wet hair, and she says, "Hey, give me a blowout," and all you have is a comb on you. Would you know how to do it? Would you lose that opportunity? These are the things that I think about, so that's why I stay on top of my craft at all times. Just like I said, you never know when you're going to be called, and when you get called, you want to be ready. So this is me just brushing everything back and then leafing it forward. Following the nozzle and see how it's polished. Has a lot of shine. There's still some frizz on the ends, but this hair has been lifted to a blonde. I think I'll try to see if I can show you the original finish, how I had it styled before, because it looks a little crazy now, but when you see what it really was supposed to look like, how I actually styled it, you'll see it. So I'll include a picture in here at some point. Hopefully I can figure out how to do that. But this mannequin was based off of Avatar. I call it the Appa cut. It's based off that animal Appa. It was completely done with a razor. So it has that nice, soft, shaggy feel to it. And I think it was back-to-back foiling on this too. Okay, so you see how I kind of leaf that out and kind of pull it down. And just try that here. And that's pretty much the whole thing. You know, there's really nothing else special. You know, just bevel around. I'm following the round of the head. You see how that hair wants to go back, so I brush that back. And then I pull it forward and leaf everything. And you see I'm doing all of this without any clips or anything like that. Because when you're rough drying or when you're doing something like this, you really don't need any clips. If this was longer hair, with longer hair, you don't really need any clips either if you understand how to manipulate the hair a little bit better. On shorter hair, you definitely don't need any clips. You just need to know how to control the hair. But that's another thing that you should practice. Like, you know, if you don't have clips, then what do you do? And The short answer to that is you just work in smaller sections. Now this is me using my finger to kind of smooth everything down and polish. Okay. A lot of people don't realize this, but the oils from your hand help to seal the hair as well and control some of that frizz. So if you just kind of like pull the ends, they'll kind of seal, especially if the hair is already hot. You just kind of pull that down, it'll start to seal the cuticle. And this looks like this is the end, folks. And that was a quick